Good morning, young ladies. It gives me immense joy to be here amongst you, especially that I see an environment of immense hope, zest, enthusiasm, and a lot of optimism at this stage of your life when you're getting ready to prepare yourself and take off in life. It is also very endearing and very gratifying to get an opportunity for me to come back to the next generation in an educational institution. It's a kind of a testimony and a reinforcement that some considerable amount of good work has been done in my life. So I am extremely grateful for this opportunity to interact with you all. Especially also that this is a women's college. In our times, this is a paradigm shift in having a women's college in today's times. In our times, several decades ago, not very long ago, but yes, several decades ago, there was a notion of just keeping women separate to protect them. And now it is so that you blossom to your fullest potential. I love that change. Women, by virtue of our maternal instincts, we are perceived as, we have this virtue of being kind, loving, caring, and sensitive. It is but an anomaly in human nature that kindness and love is sometimes perceived as naivety and not being worldly wise. Whereas, to be really strong, to love truly from the heart, you need to be very strong with a very strong foundation and be very, very grounded, very strong physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, socially, financially. So it's only when you are strong, truly strong, that you can give love in its truest essence. So today I am a health and fitness professional primarily. I am one of the first women who participated in bodybuilding contests internationally representing India. There was an undercurrent of kind of rebellion and a question in me when I started this. I can talk endlessly about health and wellness, but today that will be, of course, my prime focus. But really, because this is an educational institution, I want to give you three mantras. One is, of course, take care of your health. Have a serious plan to have very good health throughout your life, for which you must plan now to condition your mind to like the good things, to develop good habits and discipline in everything, so that you are not carried away by momentary pleasures, and you have a very strong demarcation in your mind about what pleasure is and what inner joy and deeper satisfaction is. What is the joy in having a boring day? We may not want too many ups and downs, but there is a great joy in having a boring day, because probably you are being consistent with a lot of things. So we need to start thinking differently and condition our mind to to enjoy being healthy and strong throughout your life. So there is one shloka I would like to mention here. Kakaha Krishnaha, Pikaha Krishnaha, Ko Bhed Pika Kakayoho, Vasant Kale Tu Samprapte, Kakaha Pikaha Pikaha. So Krishna is black, it's a beautiful color. Kakaha is a crow and Pikaha is a cuckoo. Kakaha and a cuckoo and a crow both are black. Kakaha Krishnaha, Pikaha Krishnaha. Ko bhed pika kakayoho. What is the difference between the two? Both are black. So when they are chicks, the cuckoo puts them in the nest of the crow, and even the crow cannot distinguish. They're all chicks. But when the spring season comes and both of them sing, you can clearly distinguish which is the crow and which is the cuckoo. So right now, you all are young, you all are strong, you all are fit, you all look pretty. But as you grow older, there is a certain age after which it all starts showing, not in really how you look, but in what you can do, what you are capable of achieving, how much love and care you can give to your family. That probably is a big decisive factor in your life. And that is why you must start planning now to be strong. Talking about being pretty, no matter how you look, we see about a lot of women getting into Botox and fillers and stuff like that. But let me tell you, when a woman walks into her house and the rest of the family gets a lot of strength and peace, okay, now that she's finally here, I think that woman is perceived as the most beautiful woman, irrespective. So let us look at it like that. And that is why I re-emphasize that we must take care of our health and plan to do so now. The second mantra which I would like to mention is make sure that you work on your financial security and independence very, very early in life. No matter who your father is, what are your mother's achievements, what is your husband's salary, what is the family you've come from, your lineage, doesn't matter. What is your individual identity? You need to establish that. What are you individually capable of? That is you. The reason I say is that when you are financially dependent on somebody, it somehow has an impact on the decisions and the thought processes in your mind. The decisions you make may be subconsciously driven by your dependence on a particular person. So if you are financially independent and secure, that is not determining what you talk, what you think. You can be yourself, who you are deep inside your soul. So just to be yourself. I'm not talking about financial independence because you need to have a lot of money to have a lot of fun and luxury. I talk about financial independence to achieve your identity, to achieve who you are, what is your potential, and how much you can adjust to the society and how much change you can bring about in the society. It is also said that it is almost the duty of every good person to become rich, because when a good person becomes rich, he or she can give employment to so many people and build so many lives. So that is the second thing I give you today. Work on your financial security and independence very, very consciously. And the third mantra which I would like to give you is pursue your passions unapologetically. No matter how unconventional it may seem, if you know that you are doing the right thing, pursue it, work on it. It's something that nobody has done ever before. You are breaking stereotypes, you're fighting a battle. There will be opposition. Let us not take the path of least resistance, because when you create this human possibility, it is the greatest service that you can do to humanity. You are creating possibility and opening an entire new world, and there will be so many people who will follow you. After a couple of decades, that thing will become very, very normal. But somewhere down the line in your subconscious, you will know that when nobody was doing it, you began it. You may not get credit for it consciously, but that is something between you, God, and your inner self. These are three different identities. That is when you're creating a human possibility and creating a new world, it is such a gratifying thing. So these are the 3 mantras I would like to give you today, and I would like to expand a little more on health and wellness. So, and also how I got into bodybuilding, because that is one question everybody asks me. So when I was born, my mother was very sick. When she conceived me, she had already been through a lot of series of tragedies, and so she was suffering with schizophrenia. She used to get auditory hallucinations. She was very violent. She used to respond very violently to these hallucinations, and there were very many suicidal attempts. It was very scary. It was like a nightmare. And we would get beaten up as children. I was kind of all by myself in the family. My father was having a lot of pressure from work. At the slightest pretext, I would get beaten up very, very badly. I think every single day of my childhood has passed like that. I was blue-black for most of my childhood. Somewhere down the line, I was looking for love and acceptance, because we were quite an isolated family, in 60s, 70s. People were not as sensitive and evolved. Thankfully, there's the previous generation is always criticizing the new generation, but I think that we have really evolved and outgrown so many things which I have seen through my childhood. That's lovely, and kudos to all of you for that. So as I grew up, I was looking for love and acceptance, and I had a kind of subconscious thing that something is seriously wrong in my family. I was all by myself. We didn't have the internet in those days. We didn't have television programs, nothing. So the only way for me was to participate in a lot of co-curricular activities, arts, and then maybe win it all, and then get the love and attention that I was looking for. So in the beginning, it was this sentiment which was driving me to participate and to learn a lot of new things. And I by myself was juggling around with so many things with no support at all. And I was considered crazy, doing it all. The other children had support from parents, and parents taking out their children for classes and this and that. But I was just struggling through it all alone. Being very alone right from the beginning had its advantages also, because there was nobody to stop me. I could kind of maneuver through my routine and day on my own in whatever way I wanted to. I could make my own decisions from the very beginning. And then I would always get, say, a second or a third position. Since you are all participating in festivals now, I remember I was from Hindu college. I was doing physics honors there. I used to also participate. I used to get the second, third, but never the first position was something that needs that extra edge, and that was the kind of support that I was lacking. And at the first incidents, as I grew through this and I lived through it, I got a marriage proposal, and I was promised that I would be allowed to study and this and that. My husband being in Merchant Navy, he would be away on the ship. And I accepted this, at the first instance. All I was looking for was a normal family, with normal people. My sister, incidentally, as she'd joined the hostel and she was away. She would rarely come home in those years. So she would just stay there because it was very depressing. So I got married, and then right from the day one, I knew that it's never going to be what I thought. My biggest mistake was probably that I got married for studying and not for the relationship, because I was still a child. And then my son was born. Now all the doors were, kind of closed for me, and my son was then diagnosed with autism. So this was something I was looking forward to, that okay, now I don't have anything else, I cannot work, I'm not allowed to do anything. It would be my child through whom I will get all the love and all the normal family stuff and all the things that I aspired for. I will make him the best, and then we'll outgrow it together. But then autism in 1988 was not known about at all. Autism came in the psychology books in 92, and it's not until the last few years, like 5, 6, 7 years, that people have really got to know about neurodiverse spectrum. These words were not existing at all. It was just black and white. You are either insane or not. Pagal hai ya nahi hai. Nothing in between. So I was told that this child will be non-verbal. He will not be able to even speak. But he didn't have an articulation problem. They just babble, or there's parrot speech sometimes. But he will not be able to, speak, or will not be functional, which was very devastating for me, considering the rest of the circumstances I was in. But then, since I had nothing to look forward to, one person told me that there is a possibility that such children become functional, but you will have to spend at least 15 to 20 years, day and night, and leave everything else aside. Now, since I had nothing to look forward to, I said I will take this up, because I wanted to break this notion that such children can never speak. There is a possibility, as I said, creating human possibilities by doing the unconventional, walking the path which no one has gone upon, is a great service to humanity, even if you're doing it for personal reason, for your own self, because you create a possibility. So I used to be with him in school day and night, doing nothing, rewriting the NCERT books, teaching him. One thing that I used to do is, when he was studying or learning something and I had a few moments, I used to read magazines on health and wellness. Now, there was this health magazine, Prevention. I don't remember the older magazine. There was a lot of culture of reading earlier when we didn't have Google. So I used to do a lot of reading, and the kind of subconscious worry in me was that what will happen to this child when I'm not there. I was not in a position at that time to prepare for his future. But then, we have to leave some things on God and move on. My first priority was to do whatever best he can, to get him to do whatever best he is capable of. He passed out of DPS with a good 90%. He tried to do his graduation here. He couldn't do it. I was determined. I spent everything that I had. I sent him to UK. He did his graduation. He did his post-graduation. He was able to speak. He is learning classical music. He has performed on many stages. Who said he will not be able to speak? He's done it. But he's 34 now, 35 running. After 7 years, after huge struggle completing his postgraduate degree, it is now that he is working at the front desk in Lalit Hotel, in the mentally handicapped quota. But he is working, he is functional. So I used to not talk about this earlier. A lot of people didn't even know I have a child. But once when he gave a performance in music, a lot of parents came to me and asked me that how did you even do it? A lot of parents with children who have who have children in the neurodiverse spectrum, they could not believe it. And then I kept on getting calls. I kept on, getting a lot of questions, and I felt that this must be told. It is very important to tell people that this possibility exists. It's just that it takes a lot of resilience. For a caretaker, it is far more difficult. The people who are not capable of thinking that much, they don't suffer. They have to be the way they are. But the caretaker, especially if the caretaker is a mother, she has an emotional element to it. I think we must really respect caretakers, because they can understand both the sides of the story, the society, the world, criticism, and then they have to take the responsibility of whatever wrong happens. So now this child, I was always telling him, do this, do that, do this, do that. It was always coming from me. But one thing that came from him when he was 15 years old was that I want to have that six-pack abs. And that is when I took him to the gym. And when I started teaching him weight training, they see a single woman running around with a child who is very different, trying to teach him weight training. That became, the talk of the town. It got a lot of attention. And people told me women should not be weight training, and this became a huge thing. And then I wanted to establish my identity all my life. I had been suppressing myself. This was something I said, now, this is where I have control. This is what I must prove wrong. At that time, there was no fitness industry. No woman would weight train. I was the only one. I studied. I did my certifications, a lot of certifications, and then I went abroad. I trained with the best in the world, and I competed, I represented India, and then it's history. Today, I see hundreds of girls participating in bodybuilding. I see hundreds of girls participating in all sorts of sports. I see myself being manifested over and again. It is truly gratifying. And then, now that I had spent everything on his education, I have spent whatever I had on my training and competition. I had to secure my future and build something for getting back my self-respect and dignity, for telling the people who humiliated me that I was not working because I was looking after my child, that no, I have done it again. So I have launched now my new venture as an entrepreneur, and something which is so close to my heart, which brings all the 3 mantras I told you together today, that about taking care of your health, about getting financial independence, and about breaking convention and stereotypes to create human possibilities. All these 3 elements put together in my new venture. Of course, the brand is Proksham. My desire was again to do something very different from the rest of the herd, to create a supplement brand for sports persons who have to, who undergo so much of pain, soreness and exhaustion in their in their endeavors, in their practice. We have a very small athletic shelf life, especially when you're competing at international level. You are undergoing so much of wear and tear. It needs the right knowledge and the right ingredients going in your body in the clean way. So we merged modern science and Ayurveda, and we have created a very special supplement brand. I hope that it's just not only for earning money. It's a great cause, and we'll venture out into the world. You people are all doing something, studying something which is related to business. So you can truly relate to this, that every business must have a cause and underlying inherent sentiment in it, which drives and motivates you and gives you a sense of belonging with what you're doing. These three mantras, ladies, are so much in me today. This I stand here because I am at the verge of the grand finale of my life. So it is very special for me to be here today and share this story with in a women's college. I wish you all a success in your lives. I hope that you can take away something or the other from my life story, because I have touched so many aspects of it, not just sports. One thing I would like to add, that many of you know, I also do Bharatnatyam. When I was a child, I was learning it. I started it after a gap of 25 years. I did not give it up. I did not have to say that now, being in my 50s, I have grown old, so it is just an unfulfilled, incomplete dream. No. I can take up anything I want at any time of my life, because I am still strong and I will stay that way. To be good in something, we need to accept to be bad in it first. When I had started exercising, one of my coaches used to tease me that gadhe ki tarah mat karo, ghode ki tarah karo. But if I would have given it up at that time, that I cannot do it, if I would have given up early, and given into all the opposition in so many things that I have done, I would never have been able to do anything, any of what I had done, because I was really bad at everything that I did. We need to be able to learn, unlearn and relearn. So once you know the process of learning, what you study in college is actually theoretical. What you are learning in a college is the process of learning. When you learn how to learn, and you learn it with an open mind, and you open yourself to this idea, no matter what field you choose at any stage of your life, you will be able to learn it from scratch again. You should live with the humility when you are in the period when you are bad at it, that okay, today I am bad, I will laugh at myself, because I know that one day I will rise far above and these people will talk about me. That confidence as well as resolve to be consistent and never give up, that every journey of mine which I start is going to be a very long-term journey. It's going to be for life. The last example I would like to give you is about my music. I had won hundreds of competitions. I had won the state level at the granddaughter of Mahatma Gandhi, Nirmala Deshpande, had presented me a gold medal in music, in Chennai. But there were, of course, with all the pangs and agonies, there was a period when I cried myself sore. I seriously damaged my vocal cords. I did not sing for about 15 years at all. In the last 5 years, for 3 years, all I worked upon was my voice, pranayam. The motivation for me was from one of my gurus who said that Bade Ghulam Ali Khan Sahab had suffered with paralysis, and all he used to just blabber, that's all. And then he kept trying, and after a few years, kya baat hai, he sang all over again. That was my motivation. Then after these 3 years of voice training, I got back my voice. I started all over again. I did my Prabhakar from Prayag Sangeet Samiti, Allahabad. Today I am doing my classical music from Shri Ram Bharti Kala Kendra at Mandi House. I am performing in Kamani Auditorium on this 5th February. My first classical performance after so many years. A lot of people don't even know about it. So at any stage, you should be ready to learn, unlearn, relearn, and whatever you do, accept yourself very humbly. Don't worry if you're bad at it. You have to be bad at something to be able to be good at it later. Thank you very much. With these wishes, we will have many competitions in so many fields. Look at all of them, smile, respect your fellow contenders.